I always felt dumb asking this question, but I know now, so I'm going to share it with you. The US is $38 trillion in debt, but like, who do we owe that debt to? Global debt is like $337 trillion. Do we owe it to aliens? Is that how global debt works? Welcome back to the Under Report, where I find out the answers to dumb questions and then answer them so you don't have to. Debt is held by two categories: intergovernmental debt, which is between countries, and personal debt, and that's individuals that own that debt. 25% of American debt is owned by countries, and this is actually a feature, not a of that $9.1 trillion. The most of it is actually owned by Japan, second only to China, and then the United Kingdom, and then some like smaller countries like Belgium and Luxembourg. These are held in the form of budget securities. Essentially, they're like a bet that countries take on the United States being more prosperous in the future, and that's why it's a feature, not a bug. Technically, it's a feature when it's working well, but it could be a really horrible bug that'll destroy the world if it messes up. Let's start with the good news. So the idea is that by holding foreign debt, countries have an economic incentive to not only cooperate with one another, but to enhance each other's economies, also sometimes called economic peace. Since China and Japan and the United Kingdom and anybody else who holds American debt would presumably get paid back based off of American prosperity, they want to hold on to that debt because it's going to be worth more in the future. However, and this is an enormous however, if for some reason those countries decide that it's more beneficial for them to wreck the American economy, all they really have to do is dump their T would weaken the dollar massively, and it wouldn't totally crash the American economy, but we would be feeling it generationally. Remember, only 25% of American debt is held by foreign countries. The good part about how this is set up is it would also kind of be a self-own if they did that, because they would also crash the economy of the most valuable market in the world. China, for instance, is an export economy, and they thrive due to the fact that the American consumer needs a bunch of cheap stuff. The system is working well. It drives people economically to the negotiating table. First, I was going to say instead of to the war room, but all I could come up with it was instead of to the bomb store. Let's just go with it. Okay, economic peace theory keeps people negotiating over rates of interest and out of the bomb store where you have to go to buy bombs to have wars. Share, like, and subscribe, the Under Report.